She thought she was just a poor girl trying to survive. Until the night she saved an old woman from robbers. And unknowingly earned the loyalty of a powerful werewolf family. What she didn't know was that this life-saving moment would drag her into a world of claws, secrets, and destiny. This is where her real story begins. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more stories like this one. Let's begin. The town of Ridgewood was awake long before the sun. Its streets were noisy with vendors shouting, vehicles honking, and people rushing to begin another day of survival. But at the far end of the town, behind the old railway tracks, sat a tiny broken house that looked like it had been forgotten by time. Inside that house lived Lily Carter, 18 years old, alone, but alive, holding on to life with a strength she didn't even understand. Lily sat on the floor, tying the laces of her torn sneakers. The left one had a big hole, but she stuffed old cloth inside so small stones wouldn't hurt her feet while she worked. She grabbed her old backpack and opened it. A single apple rolled to the side. Her stomach growled. "That's breakfast and lunch," she whispered to herself with a sad smile. "Make it count, Lily." She stood up and looked at the dusty mirror hanging on the wall. Her brown hair was tied in a messy bun. Her green eyes looked tired but bright. She whispered, "You can do this. One more day. Just one more." Lily stepped outside. The morning air was cold enough to sting her nose, but she walked with quick steps. She worked as a cleaner in a small community center in town. The pay was tiny, but it kept her alive. As she approached the main road, people brushed past her without noticing her. She wasn't the type anyone paid attention to. She was quiet, small, and dressed in cheap clothes. But Lily didn't mind. What truly hurt her wasn't her poverty. It was the loneliness. Her parents had died in a car accident when she was 14. No relatives wanted her. She grew up learning how to survive on her own. But she never let her heart turn cold. Every stray dog she saw she fed. Every old woman she helped cross the road. Every child crying in the market she comforted. People often asked her, "How can someone with nothing give so much?" Lily always answered the same. "Because I know what it feels like to have no one." That morning she reached the community center. She cleaned floors, wiped windows, and fixed chairs. Her back hurt, but she kept working. Around lunchtime, she took a break and bit into her apple. While eating, she watched two little kids arguing over a broken toy. Lily walked to them and sat beside them. "Hey, what's wrong?" she asked gently. "He broke my car," the smaller boy cried. "I didn't mean to," the older one protested. Lily smiled softly and reached out. "Let me see." She fit the broken parts together and pressed hard. The toy snapped back into shape. Both boys gasped. "There," she said. "No more fighting." "You're the best, Miss Lily," they shouted before running off. Lily laughed. "I wish that counted as a salary increase." As she finished work in the evening, she felt unusually tired. She rubbed her eyes and walked home slowly. The sun was gone, and the streets grew darker each minute. Ridgewood became a different world after sunset. Shadows grew longer. Strange people came out. Danger moved quietly. But Lily was used to walking alone. She passed through a narrow alley, her usual shortcut. That alley was normally quiet, but tonight, something felt wrong. She heard muffled voices. A woman's voice. "No, please. Let me go." Lily froze. Her heart raced. Her first instinct was to run. But then the voice cried again, weak, desperate. "Help someone, please." Lily clenched her fists. "I can't just walk away," she whispered. And then she stepped into the darkness. The alley was dim, lit only by a flickering street lamp. Trash bins lined the sides, and the air smelled damp. Toward the far end, Lily saw them. 3 men surrounding an elderly woman. The woman was small, dressed in a long gray coat. Her silver hair was tied neatly, but her glasses were crooked from the struggle. One robber held her bag while another gripped her arm so tightly she winced. "Please," the woman begged. That bag has medicine. Take my money but leave the rest. The biggest robber laughed. Old lady, we'll take whatever we want. The third man shoved her. She fell to her knees. Lily's heart pounded against her ribs. She whispered, "Come on, Lily. Do something." She took a deep breath and shouted, "Hey! Leave her alone." All three robbers turned sharply. The biggest one narrowed his eyes. "And who the hell are you?" Lily swallowed hard. "Someone who isn't scared of you." That was a lie. She was terrified. But fear didn't matter. Not when someone needed help. The smallest robber snorted. "Look at her clothes. She probably doesn't even have a wallet. Forget her." "No," the big one growled. "She wants to be a hero. Let her try." He walked toward Lily with slow, heavy steps. Lily stepped back instinctively, then forced her feet to stay still. "You should walk away, girl," he warned. "No," she said firmly. "Let the woman go." The old woman lifted her head weakly and whispered, "Go, run, please, child." But Lily shook her head. The big robber reached out to grab her arm. But Lily moved quickly. She had learned to survive on the streets. She ducked under his arm and kicked him hard in the shin. He shouted in pain, "You little." The second robber lunged toward her. Lily snatched a metal pipe laying near a trash bin and swung it with all her strength. It hit his arm with a loud crack. "Arg!" The third man rushed her. Lily's pulse exploded with adrenaline. She swung again, hitting his shoulder. He stumbled back. But 3 against 1 was too much. The biggest robber grabbed her from behind and slammed her against the wall. Pain shot through her back. Lily gasped and fell to the ground. "You stupid girl," he snarled. "You're dead." He raised his boot to kick her. "Stop!" the old woman cried. The robber ignored her and stepped forward. Suddenly, Lily rolled aside and jabbed the pipe into his knee. He screamed again and collapsed. Lily scrambled up. She grabbed the old woman's wrist. "Come on, we need to run." The woman struggled to stand. I can't move fast." "It's okay. I've got you." They stumbled out of the alley just as a car passed by. The headlights scared the robbers into running deeper into the darkness. Lily didn't stop until she and the woman reached the main road. Both were breathing heavily. Lily gently helped the woman sit on a low stone bench. "Are you okay, ma'am?" Lily asked, kneeling beside her. The old woman looked at her. Really looked at her. Her eyes were soft, warm, and surprisingly steady for someone who had just been attacked. "You saved my life," she whispered. Lily smiled tiredly. "I just did what anyone should do." "No," the woman said, taking Lily's hand. "Most people would have walked away." Lily shrugged awkwardly. "Well, I didn't." The woman touched Lily's cheek gently. "My name is Margaret Hale. And what is yours, brave girl?" "I'm Lily. Lily Carter." Margaret smiled with something deep and emotional in her eyes. A strange warmth spread through her chest, an instinct she hadn't felt in years. "Lily Carter," Margaret whispered. "You have a kind heart, and a brave one." Lily blushed slightly. "I'm really glad you're okay." Margaret nodded slowly. I must get home. But I don't think I can walk that far." "Where do you live?" Lily asked. "On Hale Hill." Lily's eyes widened. Hale Hill was where the rich lived. Beautiful houses, security, wealth. "I can help you get a taxi," Lily said quickly. Margaret smiled. "Thank you, dear." Taxi arrived within minutes. Lily helped Margaret inside. Before leaving, Margaret grabbed Lily's hand again. "You said you helped me because it was the right thing to do," Margaret said softly. "But I owe you more than I can ever repay." Lily laughed gently. "You don't owe me anything, really." Margaret's eyes darkened for a second, not with danger, but with an ancient instinct hidden deep within her soul. "Oh, child, if only you knew." "What do you mean?" Lily asked. But Margaret shook her head. "Nothing to worry about. Get home safe, Lily." taxi door closed. Margaret watched Lily through the window as the car drove away. Her heart raced. Her breathing grew heavier. She gripped the seat tightly. The driver glanced at her through the mirror. "Ma'am, are you okay?" I just need to get home," she whispered. "Quickly, please." He nodded and sped toward Hale Hill. When Margaret reached home, a huge mansion surrounded by tall trees and iron gates, she stepped out shakily. But as soon as she entered the house, she gasped and grabbed the wall. Her chest tightened. Her eyes glowed faint gold. Her heartbeat turned into a deep, rumbling sound. A voice echoed from the hallway. "Mother, what happened?" A tall young man stepped out of the shadows. Strong, broad-shouldered, sharp eyes like a wolf, dark hair. A presence that commanded the air around him. Ethan Hale, alpha of the Hale pack. Margaret looked at her son, tears in her eyes. "Ethan," she whispered, voice trembling. "She saved me." Ethan frowned. "Who?" "A girl. Human girl. She protected me from robbers. She fought them alone." The alpha's eyes flickered with shock, and something deeper, older. "And her name?" he asked quietly. Margaret replied with a shaky breath. "Lily Carter." Silence fell. Ethan's jaw clenched slowly. "A human saved the mother of an alpha," he murmured. This changes everything." Margaret nodded, her eyes glowing brighter. "The wolf in me has already decided," she whispered. "We owe her a life debt." Ethan inhaled sharply. Life debt. A sacred promise no werewolf could ignore. "How far will we go to protect her?" Ethan asked. Margaret looked at him with a fierce, maternal fire in her eyes. "As far as we must," she said. "No one harms the girl who saved me." And in that moment Lily Carter, poor, lonely, unaware, became the center of a storm she didn't know existed. And the wolves had already claimed her. The Hale mansion was quiet, too quiet for Margaret's racing thoughts. Her hands trembled as she walked down the long hallway, each step echoing like a drumbeat in the otherwise silent house. She entered her private study, the room filled with books, old artifacts, and a strange scent of pine and something wild. Margaret sank into her chair and pressed her fingers to her temples. Her body ached, but it wasn't only pain. It was the adrenaline that still coursed through her veins. The memory of the alley attack, of Lily's courage, burned in her mind. Margaret had been a Hale all her life. That meant she carried the wolf blood in her veins. A bloodline older than the town itself. Powerful, fierce, and protective. As she sat, her chest tightened. Her heartbeat accelerated unnaturally, almost like a drum in her ears. She pressed her hands over her heart. You saved me," she whispered aloud. "You, tiny human girl." Her breathing changed. Her nails dug into the armrest. And then, without warning, her body convulsed, her spine arched, and her ears twitched. Golden eyes appeared in the reflection of the study window. Her teeth elongated slightly. Hair seemed to ripple across her skin as the wolf inside awakened, drawn out by the memory of being attacked. She wasn't fully transformed, but she didn't need to be. The wolf within her could smell courage, recognize a life debt, and sense the unspoken ties between a protector and the protected. Margaret's fingers clenched the desk. "I owe her," she whispered. I will protect her, even if I must destroy the world to do it." The room grew colder, shadows stretching unnaturally as if bowing to her determination. Margaret closed her eyes, her wolf instincts sharpening. She could feel Lily somewhere out there, weak, human, alone, and yet full of strength. A voice in the hallway cut through the tension. "Mother, are you all right?" Margaret's eyes snapped open. Ethan Hale stood in the doorway, his imposing figure radiating power, even in the dim light. His expression was unreadable, but his eyes, golden flecks in the shadows, betrayed concern and curiosity. "Ethan," she breathed, still trembling, "you must listen to me carefully." He stepped closer, sensing something primal in the air. "What is it?" Margaret took a deep breath. A girl. Lily Carter. She saved me tonight. Ethan froze. Saved you. A human. Alone. Margaret nodded. Yes. She fought 3 men by herself. She didn't run. She didn't hesitate. Then she could have died. But she saved me. Ethan's wolf stirred at the mention of her bravery, a deep, throbbing pulse that resonated through his bones. He had trained his entire life for power, dominance, and control, but a human girl who faced danger without fear. That was something else entirely. Where is she now? Ethan asked, his voice a low growl, the alpha instinct sharpening with every word. Margaret shook her head. I don't know. She didn't wait for thanks. She left. But I can feel her. She's out there vulnerable, alone. And she has earned our protection. Ethan's jaw tightened. Mother. You know what you're saying. A human girl. We can't afford to expose her, or ourselves. Margaret's golden eyes softened but burned with resolve. She's not just any human, Ethan. She has a pure heart, brave. Strong in ways most people are not. The wolf in me knows. I owe her a life debt. And no one, no matter how powerful, should harm the girl who saved me. Ethan studied his mother carefully. Margaret Hale rarely used words like "oh" or "debt." And when she did, it wasn't casual. It was sacred, ancient, binding. The alpha took a deep breath. Then we protect her, he said finally. We track her, we find her, and we ensure no harm comes to her. But mother, if you feel what I feel. Margaret interrupted gently. Ethan, you cannot feel what I feel yet. The bond is mine. But when the time comes, you will understand. The words hung in the room. Ethan's wolf shifted beneath his skin, restless and alert. Something was stirring, a premonition. The world was about to change. Margaret rose, walking toward the tall windows. Her gaze pierced the night. I must go to her, she whispered. I cannot leave her alone, even from here. Ethan placed a hand on her shoulder. Mother, you're still injured. I know, she said, her voice steady but firm. But a life debt cannot wait. The girl, she is ours now. Ethan nodded, understanding more than she knew. The Hale bloodline, the wolf in their veins, demanded loyalty, protection, and retribution. Whoever dared harm Lily would face the wrath of the wolves. And they were relentless. The night had fully fallen. Ridgewood streets were dim, fog rolling in from the river, and Lily Carter walked home slowly, unaware of the danger she had narrowly escaped that same evening. She hummed softly to herself, trying to shake the adrenaline still in her system. But unknown to her, Ethan Hale was watching. From the shadow of an alley, the alpha studied her every move. He didn't approach yet. Not now. He needed to understand her. The wolf in him urged him forward. The human in him screamed caution. She's alone and unarmed, he muttered under his breath. But strong. Too strong for a human. And yet fragile. Very fragile. Ethan's eyes glowed faint gold in the darkness as he stepped closer, silent as a shadow. Every muscle in his body tensed, ready to act. The faint crunch of leaves underfoot made Lily stop. She looked around. Hello, she called softly, her voice carrying in the empty street. No response. Must be my imagination, she muttered, shaking her head. Then she continued walking, unaware of the pair of golden eyes following her every step. Ethan exhaled slowly, controlling the wolf that demanded to leap out and claim her protection. The wolf wanted her now, to guard her, to keep her safe at all costs. But Ethan needed to remain calm. He had to understand the girl first. She's different, he whispered. There's something about her. Something that pulls at the wolf. Courage, kindness, humanity. All mixed in ways I've never sensed before. He decided then and there. Lily Carter would be his responsibility. And he would protect her, no matter the cost. Hours later, when Lily reached the corner near her small house, a shadow moved. A figure stepped out from behind the trees. A tall, imposing man with dark hair and eyes that glimmered gold in the streetlight. Lily froze. Who are you?" she asked, her voice shaky. Ethan's voice was calm, smooth, and commanding. "Don't be afraid, my friend. I just want to make sure you get home safely." Lily took a cautious step back. "Friend? You don't even know me." "I know enough," he said. "You fought for someone tonight. Bravery like that doesn't go unnoticed." Lily blinked, confused. "How do you know about that?" Ethan's expression darkened slightly. "Let's just say, I'm aware. And I don't want anyone else to hurt you." Her heart raced. "Hurt me?" "Yes," he said firmly. "You were in danger. I can't allow that not to happen again." Lily stared at him. Something in his eyes, the calm intensity, the power, made her uneasy but strangely safe at the same time. I don't know what to say." "You don't have to say anything," he replied. "Just promise me you'll be careful. And if trouble comes, you call me." She frowned. "Call you? You don't even know me." He smiled faintly, almost sadly. "That doesn't matter. I know what matters. And you matter." Lily shivered. Okay. I'll be careful." Ethan nodded. His wolf shifted subtly beneath his skin, satisfied for now. "Good. I'll be watching." As he melted back into the shadows, Lily finally reached her door. She closed it and leaned against it, trembling. "Who was that?" she whispered. Meanwhile, high on the hill overlooking Ridgewood, Margaret Hale watched from her mansion. Her eyes glowed faint gold as she observed both Ethan and Lily. "My son," she whispered, "the debt is sacred. The girl is ours. Protect her. Always." Ethan stood silently beside her in the moonlight, feeling the weight of his mother's words settle deep into his bones. His jaw clenched. "I will," he vowed. "No one will touch her. Not a human. Not a wolf. Not a demon, nothing." And as the wind blew through Hale Hill, carrying the scent of earth, leaves, and something wild, Lily Carter slept unaware that her life had just changed forever. The wolves had claimed her. And the Alpha had made a vow that would bind them all, human, wolf, and mother, together in a story that had only just begun. The days after the alley attack were quiet on the surface, but Lily felt a strange heaviness in the air. Something had changed, though she couldn't name it. She continued her daily routines, work at the community center, small chores, feeding the stray cats, but her senses felt sharper. Every whisper, every shadow, every distant movement seemed important. On this particular afternoon, she was walking home with a small bag of groceries when she noticed a black van parked across the street. Its windows were tinted, but she could see shadows moving inside. "Probably just some delivery guys," she muttered to herself, trying to shake the unease. But the feeling didn't go away. As she turned a corner, two men appeared suddenly from behind a dumpster. One had a leather jacket. The other's hoodie covered half his face. "Hey, little girl," the one in the jacket called, stepping forward. "Hand over your bag." Lily froze. Her heart pounded. She thought of the alley attack. She thought of Margaret Hale. She thought of nothing else but surviving. I don't have anything worth taking," she stammered, clutching the bag to her chest. The man sneered. "Don't play smart. Just give it." Then the second man moved behind her, trying to block her escape. Lily backed up until her legs hit the wall. Panic surged. "Think fast, Lily," she whispered. She swung her bag at the man in front of her. He staggered back, but the other grabbed her wrist. A sharp pain shot through her arm. Suddenly, the air around her seemed to shift. A low growl echoed in the distance, a deep, rumbling sound that seemed impossible to come from a human throat. The men looked around, confused and frightened. Before they could react, a shadow appeared from the side street, a tall figure, moving with impossible speed. Ethan Hale stepped into the alley. His presence alone seemed to warp the shadows, and the golden glint in his eyes froze the men in place. "You," Ethan said, his voice cold and commanding. "Step away from her." The man holding Lily screamed, trying to pull her forward. Ethan moved faster than the eye could follow. He grabbed the man by the collar and slammed him into the wall with one hand. A sharp crack echoed. The other man turned to run, but Ethan's shadow stretched like a wolf, and he was gone in a blur. The man didn't stand a chance. Lily stared wide-eyed. Who? Ethan turned his golden eyes on her. They glowed faintly in the dim light. Are you hurt? He asked, his voice suddenly gentle, almost human. No, I'm fine, she whispered, shaking. I don't understand how. Ethan's expression softened slightly. You're lucky I was close. You should have stayed hidden. That alley was not safe for someone like you. Lily's stomach churned. Someone like me. I'm just me. Not anymore, Ethan said quietly. Not anymore, Lily Carter. You're important. And some people don't like important people walking around alone. He released her wrists, stepping back. His presence still dominated the alley. Lily swallowed hard. Who are you? She asked. I'm someone who's going to make sure you're safe, he said. You don't have to understand right now. Just trust me. Lily nodded slowly, her mind racing. She felt something dangerous yet protective emanating from him. She didn't understand, but she instinctively knew. He was powerful, and she was meant to be under his protection. The two men groaned from the ground, shaken but conscious. Ethan's eyes flickered with warning. Tell anyone about tonight, he said, his voice low and deadly. And it won't just be me you have to worry about. Then, without another word, he disappeared into the shadows, leaving Lily trembling, clutching her groceries, and questioning everything she thought she knew about the world. That night Lily couldn't sleep. Every sound in her small apartment made her jump. Every shadow seemed to move. She pressed her back against the wall and whispered to herself, "What is happening? Who was that man?" She thought of the girl in the alley who had been brave, and herself terrified but saved. And for the first time, she realized that she had entered a world far bigger and darker than she ever imagined. The next morning, Lily tried to act normal. She walked to work, helped the kids at the community center, and even managed a small smile. But her thoughts kept drifting back to the night before. She didn't know it, but Ethan Hale had been following her. Not to scare her, not to intimidate, but to protect. He had a wolf's instinct that wouldn't allow her to be harmed again. By late afternoon, Lily was walking through the park, thinking about how to avoid the strange van and its occupants. She felt uneasy, like invisible eyes were watching her. "Just my imagination," she muttered. But the hairs on her neck stood on end. From behind the trees, a figure stepped out. One of the men from last night. This time he had backup. 3 more shadowy figures emerged from the woods, moving silently. Lily froze. "Oh no," she whispered. The lead man stepped closer. "Missy, you've been causing problems. Hand over the girl's bravery, or we make it hurt." Lily's mind raced. She had nothing to fight with, nothing to protect herself. "Wait!" A deep voice growled from behind her. Before she could react, Ethan appeared. His eyes glowed golden, his muscles tense, and the wolf in him radiated danger. The 5 men froze. "You've been warned," Ethan said, his voice low and threatening. "Step back, or you won't get the chance again." The lead man laughed nervously. "Who are you supposed to be? Some security guy?" Ethan's eyes narrowed. In an instant, the men felt something primal, a power that could crush them. The air grew colder, heavier. Shadows seemed to move at Ethan's will. Without another word, Ethan lunged. His movements were too fast to follow. The men scrambled to defend themselves, but it was futile. One by one, they were thrown into the trees, groaning and terrified. Lily watched, frozen, as the man she had met yesterday, the mysterious protector, became something more than human. She saw his fangs flash for a moment, his golden eyes gleaming, and the unmistakable aura of a wolf surrounding him. When the last man tried to run, Ethan's shadow seemed to stretch and block him. "Go!" Ethan commanded. And don't ever come near her again. The men scrambled into the darkness, terrified, leaving Lily standing alone with Ethan. He approached her, slower now, his golden eyes softening. "Are you okay?" he asked, voice calm but powerful. I think so," Lily whispered. "I don't understand how you did all that." Ethan shook his head. "It doesn't matter. What matters is you're safe. For now." She looked at him, trembling. "Safe for now." His gaze became intense. "Lily, I can't promise that the world is safe. But I can promise that as long as I'm here, no one will harm you. Not human. Not wolf. Not anything." Lily's heart raced. She didn't fully understand what he was or what he meant, but she believed him. Somehow. Why me?" she asked softly. "I'm just me." Ethan's expression softened, almost unreadably. "Because you saved my mother. You were brave when most people would have run. That bravery. That heart. It deserves protection. And I will make sure you have it." She looked down, overwhelmed by the intensity of his words. For the first time, someone powerful, someone terrifying, wanted to protect her. Ethan stepped back slightly, his wolf instinct calming but still alert. "Listen carefully," he said. "You need to be careful. Danger is closer than you think. And it won't wait." Lily nodded slowly. "Okay. I'll try." "You don't have to try," he said. "You just have to live. That's enough for now." Lily took a deep breath, trying to steady herself. Her life had changed completely. She had no idea what she was stepping into, but she felt one thing clearly. She was no longer alone. And that night, as she lay in bed, Lily wondered who Ethan Hale really was, and what he and his mother were willing to do to keep her alive. Unbeknownst to her, Margaret Hale watched from her mansion again. Her golden eyes glimmered in the moonlight as she whispered, "The girl is ours now. The debt must be repaid. And protected at all costs. Nothing will harm her." The wind carried her words to the hills, rustling the trees like whispers of the coming storm. And somewhere in the dark shadows of Ridgewood, enemies waited, unaware that their prey had just become untouchable. The morning sunlight filtered through Lily's tiny window, casting soft shadows on the wooden floor. For the first time since the alley attack, Lily had managed a few hours of sleep, but her dreams were filled with strange golden eyes, growls in the distance, and the feeling of being watched. She shook her head as she sat up. "It's just my imagination," she muttered, though a part of her knew it wasn't. A soft knock sounded at her door. "Lily, may I come in?" asked a gentle, familiar voice. Lily blinked. It was Margaret Hale, standing in the doorway, her silver hair catching the morning light. Her long gray coat brushed the floor as she stepped inside. "Margaret! Why are you here?" Lily asked, startled. Margaret smiled softly. "I came to check on you. After everything that happened. I wanted to make sure you're safe." Lily nodded slowly. Think so. But I don't understand. Last night, that man, he saved me." "Who is he?" Margaret's eyes softened, but there was a seriousness in her gaze. "Lily, you need to know the truth. The world you know, it's not the whole world. There are forces out there, things humans rarely see. Things that can protect. And things that can destroy." Lily frowned. "I don't understand." Margaret took a deep breath. "My son Ethan and I. We are not ordinary humans. We are werewolves. Part of an ancient bloodline that has protected our land for centuries." Lily froze. She opened her mouth, then closed it again. "Werewolves? Like in stories?" "Yes," Margaret said calmly. "But we're real. And we don't harm humans unless we have to. But we are dangerous to anyone who threatens those we care about." Lily's mind raced. "So, he saved me because he's a wolf?" Margaret nodded. "Yes. And more than that. I owe you a life debt. You saved me, and a wolf mother never forgets such a debt. I want you to understand that you are now under our protection." Lily felt her knees weaken. Under your protection. But I'm just me. I'm not strong or rich, or anything. Margaret kneeled to meet her gaze. Lily, strength is not always measured in size or wealth or power. It is measured in courage, in the ability to act when it matters most. You have that courage. That bravery saved my life. And because of that, you are precious to us. Tears welled in Lily's eyes. She had never felt anyone say anything like that to her. I don't know what to say. You don't need to say anything, Margaret replied gently. You only need to understand that you are safe with us. You have a family now, even if you didn't know it. Lily shook her head slowly. Family. I've never had a family. Margaret's eyes softened, a motherly warmth radiating from her. Then let us be your family, Lily. You don't have to be alone anymore. The words felt like a balm to Lily's lonely heart. For the first time she allowed herself to believe that maybe, just maybe, there was a place in this world where she belonged. Suddenly, Margaret's expression grew serious. There is more you must understand, Lily. Being close to us. It means danger. Enemies of the pack, rival werewolves, hunters, even humans who deal with dark things, may see you as a weakness. You must learn to trust carefully, and always be aware. Lily swallowed hard. So, being around you and him, it's dangerous. Yes, Margaret said softly. But I will teach you. I will guide you. And Ethan. He will protect you whether you understand it or not. Lily's eyes widened. He really cares about me. Margaret smiled gently. He does. In his own way. He may not admit it openly, but he is fiercely protective of those he considers precious. And you are precious, Lily. Lily's chest tightened. I don't know what to say. Margaret placed a hand on her shoulder. Then say nothing. Just promise me you'll listen. And learn. And trust us when the time comes. Lily nodded slowly, her mind swirling with the reality she could barely comprehend. Werewolves. Protection. Life debt. Family. Danger. It was overwhelming, but beneath it all, a strange sense of belonging settled in her heart. That afternoon, Margaret took Lily to the edge of Hale Hill, where the mansion overlooked the town. This is where the pack lives, Margaret said. We are not like normal families. The pack is bound by loyalty, by respect, and by blood. We look after one another. And now, you are part of that. Lily looked at the mansion, massive and imposing. It's beautiful but scary. Margaret chuckled softly. It is. But it is home. And soon, it can be yours too. Lily hesitated. Do I have to stay there? No, Margaret said gently. It is your choice. But staying means you will be safe. And learning about the world you have stepped into. You've already seen shadows hunting you. This is why we cannot let you remain alone. Lily nodded. Her heart raced. Fear and excitement intertwined. She wanted safety, yes, but she was also curious. Terribly curious about this mysterious world of wolves and pack loyalties. Margaret smiled. Come. There's someone else you need to meet. They walked into the mansion. The doors closed behind them with a soft thud, and Lily felt the air change. The warmth of the house mixed with a faint wildness, something alive and powerful. Ethan appeared from the shadows. His golden eyes flickered as he looked at her. You're here, he said softly. Good. Lily's heart skipped a beat. You didn't follow me? Ethan shook his head. I didn't need to. You're learning slowly. That is part of your journey. Margaret stepped forward. Lily, meet the pack. They will become your guardians, your family, your teachers. But first, you must understand that trust is everything here. Lily swallowed. She took a deep breath. This world, these wolves, were real and she was now part of it. And for the first time in her life, she wasn't afraid of what the future held. The following days were a whirlwind of introductions, lessons, and strange new experiences. Lily met the members of the Hale pack, tall, imposing, yet each with a sense of loyalty and respect. Some were wary of her at first. Humans were not often accepted into the pack. But Margaret's word was enough. "You saved me," Margaret reminded them. "She is under our protection. She is part of our family now. Treat her as such." The pack nodded solemnly. Even the most skeptical, fierce wolf of the group understood the importance of this statement. Lily was introduced to Daniel Hale, Ethan's cousin, who had a playful streak. "Don't worry," he said, grinning. "We don't bite well, not unless provoked." She laughed nervously, feeling the tension ease slightly. Then she met Celine Hale, a female werewolf with piercing blue eyes. Celine studied her closely. "Interesting," she said. "Most humans faint or scream when they see us in wolf form. You didn't." Lily blushed. "I guess I'm used to strange things." Celine raised an eyebrow. "Or brave. Either way, welcome to the pack." Margaret guided Lily through the mansion, showing her the training areas, the secret rooms, and the places humans were not normally allowed. "This is where you will learn, Lily. Where you will grow. And where you will understand the strength within you." Lily's eyes widened at the training grounds, a large hall with targets, dummies, and areas designed to teach control, reflexes, and discipline. I don't know if I can do this," she admitted. Margaret placed a hand on her shoulder. "You can. You must. Being part of this world is not just about protection. It's about understanding strength, courage, and loyalty. You have all of that inside you. You only need to trust it." That evening, Ethan came to find her. He watched silently as Lily practiced simple agility exercises, her small frame moving clumsily at first. Then she began to improve, finding a rhythm. "You're stronger than you think," Ethan said, voice soft. Lily paused, catching her breath. I'm trying." "That's enough for now," Ethan replied. "Strength is not just about muscles or speed. It's about heart. And you have a heart that refuses to back down." Lily looked at him, unsure what to say. But the warmth in his golden eyes reassured her. She was not alone. She was part of something, someone bigger than herself. That night, as she lay in a guest room of the mansion, Lily felt a strange peace. Margaret's words echoed in her mind. "You are ours now. Protected, valued, blessed." The girl who had once wandered alone in the streets of Ridgewood now had a family. Wolves, powerful and loyal. And she began to understand that courage and kindness could bind worlds together, even the human and the supernatural. Outside, under the moonlight, Ethan and Margaret watched from the balcony. "She is remarkable," Margaret whispered. "The debt is repaid. But the protection must never end." Ethan's eyes glimmered. "No one will touch her. Not while we live. Not while the pack breathes. We'll fight for her, Mother. Always." The night wind carried their promise across Hale Hill, rustling the trees like a vow. And somewhere in the darkness beyond Ridgewood, rival packs stirred, sensing a new force rising. A girl, brave and pure-hearted, now shielded by the might of the Hale wolves. The night was thick with mist, the kind that seemed to curl around every tree and stone. The moon was full, a bloody red, casting an eerie glow across Ridgewood. It was a night that whispered danger. Inside Hale Hill, the pack gathered. Ethan stood at the balcony, eyes glowing gold as he surveyed the valley below. The blood moon amplified every wolf's senses, strength, instincts, and the hunger to protect. "This is no ordinary attack," Margaret said, her voice low but steady. Her claws scraped against the railing, and her golden eyes shone with primal intensity. "They know she's here. They know Lily is under our protection. And they've come for her." Ethan's jaw clenched. "Let them come. They'll regret it." From the shadows beyond the mansion, a pack of rival werewolves emerged, 10 strong, fierce, and vicious. Their eyes glowed red in the moonlight, marking them as enemies of the Hale bloodline. They moved silently like predators stalking prey. Lily, standing near the balcony with Margaret, clutched her hands together. She had never seen anything like this. The adrenaline in her veins made her pulse race, and fear twisted in her stomach. But so did something else. A strange courage, a spark she hadn't known she had. "Stay behind me," Margaret ordered. Her form rippled, half transforming into her wolf self. Golden eyes, elongated teeth, and a strength that radiated danger. Lily stepped back, heart pounding. Ethan appeared beside them, fully transformed. His wolf aura was overwhelming, every muscle tense, every movement ready to strike. He didn't speak, he didn't need to. The enemies already sensed the danger. With a guttural roar, the rival pack attacked. They leapt through the fog, claws flashing. Ethan moved like lightning, faster than human eyes could follow. He struck the first attacker with a blow that sent him flying into the misty woods. Margaret leapt, claws extended, ripping through another enemy with terrifying precision. Lily froze. She wanted to help, to do something. But her fear rooted her to the spot. Ethan's golden eyes flicked to her. "Lily, move." She ducked behind a stone railing just as a shadowed figure lunged for her. Her heart raced. Every instinct screamed to run. But then Margaret's voice rang in her mind. "You are protected. You are brave. Trust us." The words steadied her. She peeked over the railing and saw Ethan and Margaret fighting with synchronized ferocity. Each enemy that attacked was met with unstoppable power. Ethan's claws slashed with precision. Margaret's strength tore through every barrier. Lily watched, mesmerized and terrified, as the enemies realized they were outmatched. The Hale wolves were relentless. One of the rivals broke away from the main fight and sprinted toward Lily, faster than she could react. Panic surged. "Ethan!" she screamed. In an instant he was there, his shadow stretching like a wolf in the fog. The enemy hit the ground before he even reached her. "Are you hurt?" Ethan asked, voice calm but sharp. I'm fine," Lily stammered, shaking. Margaret growled, stepping closer to Lily. "Stay behind us," she warned. "You are precious, and I will not let a hair on your head be harmed." The battle continued for what felt like hours. The rival pack was strong, but the Hale wolves were stronger, born of centuries of blood, loyalty, and battle. Finally, as the blood moon reached its peak, the last of the enemies were thrown back into the forest, beaten, humiliated, and warned never to return. Ethan and Margaret stood tall, breathing heavily. Their golden eyes glimmered under the red moonlight, wild and victorious. Lily stepped forward, trembling. I can't believe you saved me." Margaret smiled softly. "You didn't just survive because of us, Lily. You inspired us. The wolf in me knows courage when it sees it. And yours is rare." Ethan's golden eyes softened as he looked at her. "You are ours now, Lily. Always. No one will ever harm you again. Not while I live. Not while the pack lives." Lily's chest tightened. She had never felt such safety, such belonging. The fear that had haunted her all her life slowly melted into awe and gratitude. The blood moon cast long shadows over the mansion, the trees, and the victorious wolves. The night was quiet now, but Lily knew. The battle had only solidified the bond between her and the Hale pack, and most importantly, Ethan and Margaret. The following morning, the sun rose over Hale Hill, casting golden light across the valley. The mansion was quiet, peaceful after the chaos of the night before. Lily sat by the window, her hands wrapped around a warm cup of tea. Her mind replayed the blood moon battle. The adrenaline, the fear, the awe, it all felt unreal. And yet she knew it had happened. She had survived because of them, the Hale wolves. Margaret entered the room, moving gracefully. Her silver hair shone in the morning light, and her golden eyes held a warmth that made Lily feel safe for the first time in years. "You did well," Margaret said softly. "Even though you stayed behind, your courage did not go unnoticed. You watched, you learned, you survived. That is what matters." Lily looked at her, eyes wide. I don't know how to thank you. Both of you. I've never had anyone protect me like this." Margaret smiled, kneeling to meet her gaze. "You don't need to thank us. You saved my life first. The debt is repaid, not with blood but with loyalty and family." Lily's chest tightened. She realized then that she had finally found what she had been searching for all her life: belonging. Just then Ethan appeared in the doorway. His golden eyes softened as he looked at her. There was no wolf-like intensity now, only quiet strength and care. "You're awake," he said, his voice low and gentle. "I am," Lily replied. I've been thinking about last night." "And?" Ethan asked, stepping closer. "And I don't know what I would have done without you. Without both of you. Feel safe. For the first time in my life." Ethan's expression softened further. He came closer, sitting beside her. "You are safe, Lily. And you will remain safe. Not because I say so, but because the pack, my mother and we will fight for you. Always." Lily's eyes filled with tears. "Always," she whispered. Ethan nodded. "Always. Nothing will harm you. Not human, not wolf, not anything that dares to threaten you. You have our protection, loyalty, our hearts." Margaret stepped forward, placing a hand on Lily's shoulder. "And remember, Lily, bravery and kindness are rare. You possess both. You are not only protected, you are cherished. And that is sacred in our world." Lily blinked, overwhelmed by emotion. I never thought have a family. I never thought anyone would care for me like this." Margaret smiled softly. "You are ours now, Lily. Never doubt that." For the first time in her life, Lily felt tears of relief and joy. She had survived danger, found courage she didn't know she had, and discovered a family that would never abandon her. Ethan reached out, gently taking her hand. "You are part of the pack, Lily. And one day, perhaps more than part. You've changed our lives, just as we will change yours." Lily's heart raced. She didn't fully understand the depth of his words, but a strange warmth filled her chest. She realized that her life, once lonely, fearful and uncertain, was now intertwined with something powerful, eternal and unbreakable. Outside, the sun climbed higher, casting warm light across Hale Hill. The air was alive with the scent of earth, trees, and the wild strength of the pack. Birds sang, leaves rustled, and for a brief moment, the world felt perfect. Margaret and Ethan watched from the balcony, their eyes reflecting pride, protection, and an unspoken promise. "No one will harm her," Margaret whispered. "Not ever," Ethan agreed, his golden eyes scanning the horizon. And somewhere, deep in the woods beyond Ridgewood, rival packs lingered, unaware that the girl they sought had become untouchable. Lily Carter, brave, pure-hearted, and now a part of the Hale wolves, would not just survive, she would thrive. The bond between human and wolf, mother and son, protector and protected, had been forged in fire, blood, and courage, and it would last forever.